Okay, one thing I've recently finding with whilst doing some editing in Pro Tools 10, I've been doing a lot of audiobook editing, and I've got memory location markers for all of my chapters. Now, what I think would be a good idea is if you have to add space in a session, for example, in between chapters, I've had to slightly extend the amount of silence between the end of the chapter and the start of the next one. So what I've done is I've just got a piece of silence, a silence region, call it spacer. It's about 4.5 seconds long at the moment, and I've just been pasting those in between. But the problem is if I paste one of these, so I'll just duplicate this one for example, what happens is the audio in front of it all shifts forward, but the chapter marker doesn't move. So then all your chapter markers then throughout the session are going to be out of sync. And the more you add in, and the more it jumps, the more it's out of sync. And there's no way to make the chapter marker jump forward with the audio, well, at least as far as I can tell. However, what you can do, if you're doing it the other way, if you're taking away space, for example, if I wanted to remove this highlighted audio clip / region, what I can do is I can select the clip. If I shift click in the marker zone, it highlights the memory locations here. If I hit the delete button now, you can see it's deleted the region, but it's also moved the marker with it. So you can see there before and after, even though you've deleted something, the marker is still relative to where it was with the audio. So that works that way great, but you just can't do it the other way. You can't, like I said, you can't duplicate that because it all shifts forward and the marker just stays where it is. So I think that's something that Avid need to address. I don't think it'd be too difficult to change either, but it just seems it's been like that for many versions of Pro Tools. You've never been able to do it. I think it's about time maybe they source it out, especially for people who do a lot of post-production, and which the last release was targeted mainly at. So that's one area I think could be improved, which would make workflows a lot easier. The other one, again to do with this spacer here. I've created this, and what I'm doing is copy and pasting it, so it's the same. I'm creating the same amount of time between each chapter. So I've pasted it at the end of chapter 1, going into chapter 2, and I've pasted it at the end of chapter 2 here, going into chapter 3. You can see where my markers have been nudged out here. But for example, if I want to say the publisher comes back to me, for example, and she says, "Oh, could you add an extra second onto all the chapters, or take away an extra second from all the chapters?" If I want to say just drag this back here, fine, it shifts the audio back, but it's just changing. It's just changing this one spacer. So what I really want is it to change all the spaces, kind of like when you click this magic button up here when you're doing MIDI editing. It mirrors the change you make to one particular note. It will mirror that across all. So a kind of mirrored audio editing button would be ideal, which would do the same kind of thing. You just need a way of assigning that all these spaces are just one file. And so I don't know, that it could be something they could look at doing. It would definitely be very helpful to me, and hopefully a lot of others. But I'd like to get some people's thoughts on it. So just let me know what you think. Feel free to comment, and maybe we can get Avid to possibly implement this in a future version of Pro Tools.